Hi, today we are going to talk about circulation using Destiny. The first thing we are going to address is how to set up student, parent, volunteer check-in without them having access to the entire system. So you may have one computer where students could check in or check out books, and instead of being signed in under your name, you could be signed in under a different account. So the way you set this up is first you go to back office. While at back office, you'll go to access levels on the left side. And what I've done is I've created an access level called student check-in/out. And I would use this for the parent and volunteer as well, but I just labeled it student check-in out. But if you wanted to create one, you would add access level. And I'll show you how I have it set up right here. And the only thing I have this one doing is being able to check out library books and being able to check in library books. That is the only thing I want students that go to the computer to check in or out books to be able to do. I don't want them to be able to see anyone else's information. So you would just check only those if that's what you want. If you wanted something different, you would select different options as well. But then you would save it. I've already saved this. After you've done that, you're going to need to create a patron account, a dummy account. So you'll go over to Manage Patrons. Once you're here, you will add a new patron. And what I've done is I created one that's just called Guest. And then you need to select a user ID. And I think I just did, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just need it to be something easy that you remember, but that's not assigned to someone else in the county. So you would assign their last name, or like I said, I just did guest, a district ID, which would be the same as the barcode, and then you need a password that you could easily remember. And you could all do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or something like that. Once you've done that, you will assign the access level down here. And that's where you would do check-in out, student check-in out, which is what we already created. And after you've created this person, this dummy account, you would save it. So I'll show you what it looks like when I log in under that. So if I log out of administrator, and then I would want to log in. Like I said, I just called it guest. And now I'm logged in under this account, guest check in or out at the top. And you can see that the only thing they can do while logged into this is check out or check in based on which one is clicked on the side. That is the only thing they are able to do. They cannot see any kind of information they shouldn't be able to. I hope this helps you when trying to set up circulation for when a student, parent, or volunteer is checking in without them having access to the entire system. The next thing we are going to talk about in circulation is changing the date and time for special cases such as an extended loan for projects, or even at the beginning of the year when teachers check out equipment that they're going to have for the entire year, like a laptop. So after the patron is signed in, you would then need to scan the barcode. Once you have scanned that barcode, right here I have the ThinkPad, which is a laptop. And let's say this patron is going to have it until the end of the year, the last day of pre-plan or post-planning. You can change the date here. And I can even go, I know that our last day is going to be May 31st, so I could select that. And then save it. And now there's a special date there. So I have extended the amount of time they can have and that item checked out. And this same process would work for students checking things out for a project or something where they know they're going to need it for an extended amount of time. We will now talk about entering fines, reserves, and messages for patrons. So as you can see, there are two things checked out under this patron's name. So let's say that this patron has lost Baby Mouse and we need to have a fine for that book. I would right here select lost, and then the amount that was originally put in was $12.18, so I could okay mark it lost and click OK. And now that fine has been, is on here. You will see a fine. Or you could add a different fine. If you were doing this, you would have to have the barcode of the book readily available to put, and then you would put the amount. Let's say that they ripped the barcode label off the book. That happens a lot with kindergarten, and maybe you charge $1 for this. You would then put $1, and then you could put a note right here saying barcode was missing, and then you would save that specific fine instead of it being the entire book. But that's how you add a fine, either for the entire book or for just a partial amount, something you're doing. So I'm going to cancel that so we can go back and talk about the other things. Next, we were talking about putting a reserve on a book or a hold on a book. So I'd go under the patron's name, and then right here, I can add a hold. And I know a common book that is often out in our library are all the Steph Curry books right now. So if I want to put a hold on it, I would just select hold it. And then it says when my request expires and that we want it as soon as possible. So then I could save that. It says now it's on there. I have a hold. And you can see that right here that the holds are here for Steph Curry. So I've been able to add that. The next thing we were going to talk about is if you just wanted to put a general note in this person's file. Maybe they continually bring back books that have like their little brother or sister's writing in it, or something has happened. You just want a note there to display this note whenever it pops up, and you want to say, check book for drawings when they return books, or whatever the note is that you need. You would then save that note, and whenever this patron goes to check something out, it will make a noise and that note will pop up so you can make sure you've checked that. So right now, this account, there's a fine. We also have a hold on a specific book, and we have notes about something that we want to come up whenever we are looking at that. So that's how you enter fines, make reserves or holds, and put messages for patrons on their accounts. Hi, so now we're going to talk about if you want to print a fine or bill or receipt. Right here I can see that there is a fine right here on the account, but if I actually go to the left side and instead of under checkout, I go to fines, I'm going to have the option to print it right here. So once I print it, and they even call it a receipt at the top on the tab, but I could print this out and send it home for a parent or someone to see, and they'd know how much they owe on that book. So that is how you print a fine or a bill or a receipt of it. We will now talk about creating temporary barcodes for periodicals or anything else that you need a temporary barcode for. In my library, the most common use of temporary barcodes are we have a huge section of class sets of books that teachers can go and they put as many books as they require into a tub, and those tubs have temporary barcodes on them, and then they bring it over to the desk for me to check out. So if they brought that over, I would go to add title, and then I would scan the temporary barcode that is on the tub, and then I would count how many books it was that they're getting. So if they're getting 25 copies of The Indian in the Cupboard, I would just put 25 Indian in the Cupboard. So when they check them back in, I can count that and make sure they have them all. And then right here, I would just save it. And now you can see under my account, I've checked out 25 Indian in the Cupboard. Once I check that back in, that temporary barcode will just be deleted, and I can use that barcode again the next time a different teacher gets that tub or bin and selects a different set of books. And I would just again add a title, scan the barcode, count how many, put whatever it is, 14 Mouse on the Motorcycle, and then save it, and it would save under there. So the same thing for a periodical. You could just type in what month and what magazine or whatever it is that they are checking out. So that is how you create a temporary barcode. We are now going to talk about looking up circulation logs for a single item, and then we'll talk about looking up the circulation history for a single patron. So the first one is going to be about an item in the library. So if we go to copy status, and you can either search by the title of whatever it is you're looking up, or if you know the particular barcode, you could type it in or scan it. Right here we have Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. Currently, I can tell that it is not checked out, but if I want to see the history, I can see who has checked it out when it was due back, when it was checked in. So that would be how you would look for the history on any item. You can either search by barcode or the name and then look at the history. Now, if we were going to look at a certain patron status, right here, I can see Miss Bowen, and if I look at her, I can just view the history of all the things that she has checked out when they're due, or I can select different pages right here and go all the way back to see when else, she has checked books out and when those were due. So that's how I look up the history of a particular item or of a particular person or patron that has checked books out, and this would go for students as well. I hope that helps you in using the Destiny system for looking at books and anything else library related.